these are more price efficient than the Rode ones. These are actually.
I know whenever we started, we went down to Guitar Center to like look at things like this because we thought visually they looked cooler.
Yeah, they do. They do.
They do look cooler, but like
100%.
Mechanically, I think the mic stands themselves make more sense.
Yeah.
Like if you can get them to sit where you want them to sit.
Right, because you have to have a table for this to latch onto.
And the bottom half of this, like you can feel with your hand, there's books. Because
holding it together because the table's too thin.
The table's too thin. It has the like
latch all the way down.
It has the cup thing, but if you tighten it too tight and then untighten it, the cup will fall off like completely.
Right.
So we had to put books in there to It's just
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do, yeah.
I had the opposite problem because, like, years ago, I did stream for, like, a little bit, for, like, a couple months, and then I had one of these different brand. It was, like, a Amazon brand. But my desk was, like, too big. Like, the gap was, like, this.
Yeah.
So I had to, do some weird stuff. I had to, like, clamp down on it. It was weird.
Also, going back, I don't know if we would have just had the handheld mics. Like we might, like if we were to start it today, knowing what we know now, we might have just went with like the handheld Rode mics. Like it literally looks like a stand-up mic.
Yeah.
Just because you could just sit here like this, and then you don't have to worry about like running the wires. Because like anytime we ever do one on the road or something, we have to take all the wires and stuff out. We leave everything else here, and then we just hold the mics because this U part comes off, so it's kind of like you're holding it. Anyway,
right.
So
But
I'm sure y'all like deal with like studio stuff. Y'all have one in your house or
we have like a whole separate building for it. Actually, it's like on my parents' property. It used to be a school portable building, and my dad bought it like years and years ago. And it was cut in half because the way they were selling it was in halves because that's like the only way you can transport it up the road. Otherwise, it's like the side of the whole fucking road. So he bought half of it for like $500, moved it to the yard for like $500, and then him and his dad like built a wall on it and put a bathroom in it and central air and everything. And he used it as his office for years. This is when I was like 13. And then when I got a little older, I would always go out there to basically practice music out there because he didn't use it. So it was just like an empty space for me to be loud. And then he was like, why don't you just turn this into what you need? Because like I don't use it anymore. So now we just get to use that place for everything. So
damn, that's like super convenient because a lot of people don't have that.
It's a blessing, dude. It's crazy because like my family we do not have money. We don't come from money. That was like because my dad's AC business, he had to have somebody out there because for a little while he had one employee to like take phone calls and to book stuff and handle tax stuff. But once all that went away and he kind of changed his business model, he's like, I don't need that building anymore. And I was like, I can't believe we have this. So yeah, we fixed it up because it used to just be like, there was like nothing in there. Like the walls weren't painted and there was like little rooms in there that had been, like there was wood there, but there was no sheetrock. So it was like, that should be a room. So then we finished it, we sheetrocked it, painted everything, and then added like some lighting and everything. And now, just like a little studio building. It's cool because I've had people come out there and, whenever I tell them like, hey, I can help you record your first demos or your first little releases and everything. They're like, there's always that little bit of like hesitancy. Like, I don't want to be in some dude's like mom's room or so, you know what I mean? Like in your bedroom, like no,
some mom's basement kind of thing. Yeah.
It's like, I don't live there with them, but that building is not, it basically belongs to me. Like I pay all the bills for that building. It's dungeon. Just on their property. So
maybe that should be the name of it, Mom's Basement.
Mom's Basement, yeah. We called it Upper Room Studios for a long time because originally me and my buddy Matt Parker, who I kind of learned how to do like basic. I just learned how to work a DAW basically and record and experiment with. His old bedroom was like upstairs. You ever been in like one of those houses that has like the really long bedroom upstairs that could be either storage or you could use it as a room?
I've lived in one of those.
Yeah, that's what his room was one of the where the ceiling is like this. Yeah. And so we did all our recording and learning in the upper room. So we just called it Upper Room Studios. So whenever we moved that out to that building, we just kept calling it that. But.
So what age did y'all have that building? Like when did you first start going out to a building like that where you had like the noise really wasn't going to be an issue for anyone?
It's really hard to remember just because like when my dad got that building, it was I don't even remember if music was like something I was doing yet. I was young enough that like when I needed it, it was there though.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, I was out there, didn't have a band or anything, just a kid like learning songs on acoustic, and I would go out there and it was like full of shit, just junk, and everything my dad was storing. It would be like stuff for the business, but then also stuff that they just couldn't fit in the house. And so I'm just like sitting on this like really ratty couch amongst a bunch of like bullshit in what looks like a construction area, like singing by myself. So I would have been like 14, I guess, 15, something like that by the time I started doing that.
Now it has a slightly nicer ratty couch.
Right.
You were saying it was like the one that you're sitting on now?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
this
pretty
one.
much.
It's funny too because we got this from a buddy of ours, but I think like I can feel it in this one. Like I think these couches start to give, like in the middle,
for sure, dude.
and ours is doing that on one side. And I was like, "Yep, this is the same couch."
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like it seems like everywhere sells that exact futon couch thing.
Yeah, it looks nice and it's not that expensive, and
Yeah.
most people aren't using it for anything that's like, a big deal. So
You
it's-
shouldn't be using it to live on.
No.
Right,
That thing
right.
is
No.
tough. The middle of that thing is built out of like, I don't know, the Great Dam or something.
Right.
Even when we're like in the studio and like one of us gets like a little tired because it's like Sunday, it's at the end of the week and everybody's tired. So like you lay down on that thing, you try to nod off a little bit. We have our like Nicolas Cage pillow. It's like this sequin pillow where if you brush it the other
flip
way,
thing.
it
Yeah,
reveals
it's like hot pink
Nicolas
on one side and the
Cage's
other side is
face.
Nick Cage's face.
That's the reality of if we have to take a nap, we'd sleep on the Nicolas Cage pillow.
It sounds like you have the most uncomfortable setup.
Yeah.
Like a terrible couch and a
And
It's
like
only made to be
and
creative.
like
No sleeping on the
15
job.
three 15-year-old office chairs that are like
Right. Yeah.
giving out. And
Yeah.
Man.
We do a lot of we do a lot of footage out there. So like if anybody's curious, like it's online on our like Instagram and stuff of us being out there. It just looks nicer.
we need to
than
get
how we're
those.
describing it.
Need to get those nice executive chairs, so like
Is this where
$1,000 chairs.
Is this where y'all are recording the new album and new?
We do all
No,
the demos
yeah.
for the
Demos?
album.
Okay.
There.
Yeah.
We write a lot of the music out there, and then once we basically get all of the elements together, and we take a song as far as we can, then we go out to Nashville to record with Jonathan DeLeese at Concrete Studios.
Okay, that's dope, dude. That road trip's got to be fun. Like the
Yeah,
whole
it is.
energy
It is, yeah.
during like a recording for an album's got to be
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, and it's also cool because like we're really good friends with him. So when we go out there, because he lives in Nashville, we don't get to see him in person that often. So it's like awesome. We're all getting a week or two away from work, going to go see a really good friend, and we're going to knock out some songs that we've been working on for the past 6 months or whatever.
Yeah.
We're finally going to like hear them completely realized. So there's like that's like we do it like twice a year now. When we go out there,
pretty much like every 6 months. Because like every time we go up there, he's like, "Hey guys, y'all should probably go ahead and email Andy, his manager. Y'all should probably go ahead and email Andy and try to line up some dates because I got this band coming in this month. Blah 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 blah." He'd be like booked
Yeah, he's
out
booked
6
out.
months, 8 months in advance. So like every time we go up there, we're like, "Okay, let's book some more dates so you don't get
Right.
filled up for another year."
Yeah.
which it works
'Cause-
out because we need a little bit of time to kind of like write another batch of songs and to save up the money to do a trip like that where everybody's away from work. So it's not that big a deal. But
So obviously you're booking it in advance. Do you have like a ballpark number that you're like, hey, we don't want to go over this amount because we only have so much time while we're there? Or is it like you can kind of do as many as you want because it'll only take so long to like lay down the actual song?
you mean like amount of
There's
songs?
usually
Yeah,
there's
like, do you have
usually
a
like a
ballpark?
predetermined goal, and it kind of varies with like how much work we got done the last time. If there's any songs that we need to finish
Right.
up, we kind of leave it a little loose because we just want to make sure the songs
Yeah.
are as good as possible.
Yeah.
We've
So if
been
we need
doing
to take extra
3.
time,
Three.
yeah,
we've been
usually
doing 3.
usually 3. We'd be there for like a week and a half or something like that.
Yeah.
Knock out about 3.
Right.
Sometimes more, sometimes less.
And when you're up there like recording, are you doing anything with extra time, like shows or anything around town?
We haven't done shows, but we certainly are doing extra stuff. Like last time we were there, one thing we love to do, we go skateboarding all the time because there are skate parks everywhere in Nashville. And none of us are like super good, but like
I'm definitely not. I have about like what was it, like 7 years ago or something. I had like a 2-3 month stint with skateboarding because I was like living in Foley at the time, and they just built a skate park.
Yeah.
So I would like go there after work, and there were like a ton of kids there. It was like super busy there. But I like kind of started learning skating back then, and then I dropped it. And when we went back up Nashville last time, I was like, hey, forgot how fun this is, even though I suck ass. Like, this is pretty sick. So now I have to save up and get a board so I can start going with him.
Yeah, it's good exercise for sure.
Yeah, it's always fun to hear how good someone is in skateboarding based off how they brag about it or like what they consider their thing. So you'll be like it's hard to describe how good you are at skateboarding.
Yeah,
because you kind of got to just watch somebody to see. But somebody will be like, I can kickflip a 5-set or something.
Right.
And it's like, well, obviously then they're street or they like this or that. Or somebody will be like, I drop in on a 14 or something. You're like, okay, so he's vert.
Right.
Yeah.
You can hear a lot like based off of the brag.
Right.
Like I skateboarded for a long time, and I wouldn't even know what to say in that.
Is like your thing that you were doing. Yeah.
I like to do a lot of rail tricks, but never like down sets because where I grew up, like it was a neighborhood and it was you were just skating on the street.
Yeah.
There was nothing in the neighborhood.
That's how I was,
So we just had a rail and we would do tricks on that, but like, I don't know, like my buddy Grant was able to go into town sometimes and he got really good at like doing shit downstairs, and he really liked vert, so he was kind of getting well rounded. But then, he started having kids and stuff. But
mine was all street, like zero vert, because we didn't have any. We had like the only like skate park we had there was a skate ring, like in the Saraland area in Mobile, and they built a little tiny. I'm talking like it was like one ramp, one box, one like ground rail, little setup that you had to pay like $5 or $10 to even get in and use. And I certainly wasn't going out there all the time as a kid because I would need somebody to drive me, and my mom wasn't taking me out there to use that and pay all the time. So when we were growing up though, like in the early 2000s, like if you are watching a video of somebody, then that means they're good, because videos are pro. You don't pull YouTube up. You don't see these reels on Instagram and Facebook. It's if they're getting videoed, it's they're landing tricks and they're on a video that you bought or they're on TV. Yeah. So like you're like, okay, he's pro. So when you were talking about like gauging, like, are you good or are you not good? It's like, well, there's pro and then there is not pro. Because nowadays kids, they might not be officially like sponsored by anybody, but you're just like on Facebook Reels and you're like, yeah, he just did some shit that should only be possible in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Like, and he's a kid and he's just doing the thing. And so you're like, okay, he's good.
Or they're making a lot of money off YouTube for their personality. Like, I never super got into skateboarding content on YouTube because when I was skateboarding, it was like you had tapes.
Yeah.
It was like you're buying skate tapes from like Waterboys or something to watch it at home. Right. And by the time like YouTube came around, I was out of like skateboarding. So like I was aware of like the Braille skateboard and how they would do like fun things. Yeah. But you would have personalities on there that were like not great at skateboarding, but they were a personality.
Right.
Like
100%.
Part of the crew.
Yeah, so, I feel bad for kids that are trying to actually do something with that as a career now, because like you can be like astoundingly good, but now like the level of talent has like been upped so much and everybody's just incredible.
Yeah.
It's like playing guitar and everything. Like it's a good thing that in music, like songwriting is a completely separate skill than performing. It's a different skill than producing. And, cause like, if it was just like whoever's the craziest guitarist is going to sell the most albums or make, get the most streams, we would never make it, because there are 13-year-old children just just killing. And I'm more like, if that was the criteria, we'll never make it.
Dude, one of our head guys in our, I do jiu-jitsu, and not at our gym, but one of our head gyms, which is Kazushi Club, 10th Planet Atlanta. But Sean Applegate is the head coach there.
Yeah.
And he is so a savant at anything he does that he posts guitar videos where he's literally just
yeah.
And it just sounds like he is a Hall of Famer guitarist. Right. I obviously can't play guitar and I don't know how to read music or anything, but he'll play that live on stream and just rip it even better probably than he teaches jiu-jitsu, and he's one of the best coaches in the world.
When something becomes commonplace, the entertainment value is lower. So when we were kids and we were buying tapes, you don't see people skate like that all the time.
Yeah.
So it was this skill that it felt like there were probably less people who had that skill than that was the reality. There was probably plenty of skaters that were incredible like that, but you never bumped into them in real life and you didn't see them on tapes.
Right. Yeah.
So it was really rare. So nowadays, I said, I can just scroll through reels and see all day a different person that I've never seen before do something that shouldn't even be possible.
Yeah.
But without the personality side of things, that becomes where it's okay, well, tons of people can do this incredible thing now. So how do I pick someone to get behind and support? And how do they make money off this if there's a bunch of people that can do that? You know, music's been a little bit of the same way. You know,
with the ability to just broadcast yourself on the internet. Everything.
Yeah. I was talking to some people the other day about this. So it was funny. I was with a buddy of mine, and his mom knows that I do music, and metal's not her thing, but she's heard it, and she knew that it was somewhat quality, and she was bragging to the aunt. Yeah, somewhat. And she was what's the genre of music you do? And I was like, well, I guess call it metalcore or whatever. And she was like, so well, who are your influences? Well, I could tell you, but I don't think you're going to know who any of them are.
Yeah.
And she was like, are they just not really that famous?
Rolling Stones, AC/DC.
Yeah.
She was like, are they just
Cheap
really
Trick.
not that famous? I was like, no, it's because things change. I was like, for instance, I was like, do you know who Metallica is? And she was like, well, of course I know who Metallica is.
Yeah.
I said, do you listen to them? And she goes, no. And I said, how do you know who they are then? And she was like, I've never thought about that. I was like, what about Green Day? Do you listen to them? No, but I know who they are. And I was like, the reason is in the 90s and previous early 2000s, there was a handful of billionaire record labels, and they were signing all of these bands, and the only places to find music was on the radio or in stores, and what you found in stores was being played on the radio.
Yeah.
There was nothing else. And if there were music videos, they were made for MTV because there wasn't YouTube. If you are a record label and you are investing money into a music video, it's because you have connections to television, and there's only a couple places on television that play them. So what it meant was the same 50 to 100 bands in any given genre, whether it's pop artists or whatever, there's only so much bandwidth on radio and television.
Yeah.
It was the same 100 to however many artists all being funneled and spoon-fed to people. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean they were bad, but there were probably a shitload of other really great bands that you just never heard about because they never made it onto that highway to be seen. Yeah. And so nowadays it's the opposite, where there's just literally anybody who wants to make music and put it out, you can.
Yeah.
You have to invest money and learn how to market yourself so people know that it exists. But back then it literally is you might as well just don't exist.
The thing nowadays, I feel like, and this is kind of just a generalization, but it seems like the barrier of entry now is way less.
Mm-hmm.
So your talent doesn't have to be there. The personality has to be there.
Right.
So somebody can be dog shit at something, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And be world famous.
Right.
And somebody can be top 1% in the world at something,
but have a terrible personality and no one cares.
We've been
or have
talking
no
about that a lot
personality,
lately,
not good or bad, just is quiet.
Right, yeah.
Maybe they're the best pianist in the world, or maybe they're the best chef in the world and nobody knows it because they just don't talk, or they don't even care to be famous. They just care to cook or do whatever they want with their community.
Right. Back in the day, it was complete opposite because you didn't know the personalities of these people. You were like clawing for a little glimpse of it, or maybe like they did a behind the scenes on MTV
or an unplugged,
an unplugged. You bought the Rolling Stones to read an
documentary
interview
or something.
Yeah, literally these documentaries. They made so much money off that because people were just dying to know something about their favorite artist. Like, who is this person? So back then it was literally just the talent on its face and the mystery, which I think people are kind of clamoring for that again, which is one of the many reasons why like Sleep Token's doing really good, because no one knows shit about them. We don't know who they are, and they're like wearing masks.
They know who they are because the fans have doxed them now. But
right, but you don't know anything about them as
general public doesn't really know.
No,
yeah, they don't. Yeah, the general public isn't Googling that. Right,
back in the day, Kiss wore their makeup everywhere. They didn't really go anywhere. Unless it was like friend groups and stuff.
Yeah, when Slipknot started, that's how they were too. I don't remember how far they made it before people figured out who they were. But at first it was a mystery as to their identities. And
ICP does the same thing, but I don't think they literally ever take their makeup off. Like, they're always in makeup.
Yeah, they put it on for any kind of interviews or anything that they do. Yeah. That's funny. I've never thought about that, but like... Because I like literally when you said that, I was like, people know who they are. That's Violent J and Shaggy Two Dope. Wait, that's not their real names. It just occurred to me. I don't have a fucking clue who those guys are.
It's too cool about like how everything has an influence on everything. Like kind of like how Kiss and ICP had an influence on music. They had an influence on wrestling. Like Jeff Hardy, face makeup. Sting, face makeup.
Right.
Like all these people you would never really see outside of face makeup, like had an influence. The guitarist from Limp Bizkit.
Wes Borland.
Dude, I know this is a weird thing to say, but what a sick face. His face is literally perfect for makeup.
It really is.
It looks alien when his...
Yeah.
Like something about the way his face is shaped looks so like... gives you like chills when you watch him play.
I saw an ad the other day. He was like sponsoring some company. I want to say it was something to do with guitar. Maybe he had a new like a pedal or something. I don't remember what he was selling. I just remember like thinking it's one of the first and only times I had seen him on camera in a while with no makeup on. He's just wearing normal dude clothes. And I was thinking the same thing. I was like, dude, that is a sharp ass jaw. Like, oh my God. Like, but when you look at him in his makeup, you can't even like imagine like what he looks like without it. It's weird. Like he went to school or something for that, didn't he?
I got a question for you guys, and I don't know if y'all heard about this punk rock NBA. Have y'all heard about the drama with this?
Yes. Oh yeah,
yes.
He was actually a fan of him.
Yeah, what is your opinion on that? Do you think it's actually real,
bro? So
that he's actually not into it, or if
this is what I think. So like I watched him for a hot minute and I was a fan. Like I know that he had a lot of haters because he had this like really dry sense of humor.
Yeah.
I never really cared for him that much.
At first I didn't like him.
That was like all right, but
I didn't like him at first, to be honest, and then he grew on me and then I started kind of like I said picking up on that sense of humor, and eventually got to a point where I was watching his videos every day just because, like, the personality thing we were talking about. Like, I actually really enjoyed him.
Well, the thing is, what is so, like, captivating about stuff that he does is that not a ton of people go in-depth on music at that time when he came out. Like, you had, like, some people, like, and maybe even they were sporadic. It would be, like, a single person. This felt like you had somebody that had money that wasn't going to run out, like, could do this, could research a ton of bands that we all like and find out information, stories, tell it like a different way. Like maybe you've always thought of a band a certain way, but like he had a way of putting it to words.
Yeah. Right?
And that's what like drew me to him. I don't know like how you find anything on YouTube. I don't know how I found it. It just came.
Right, it came up.
And then it's on my YouTube. Fed it to you. Yeah, you just start watching stuff and I would even watch stuff I don't like. Like maybe I don't like Falling in Reverse or something. But then over time, like you learn to respect, like, because he's able to tell a story that maybe the band's not telling or the people in the band isn't telling. Right. So you're able to gain a respect for like, damn, I feel bad that like I thought Ronnie was so shitty. But then it's like I like that he's able to just be himself and he's able to tell that story. And like before, back in the day, anytime you liked anybody in music, all you ever hear is the rumors.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
100%.
what's happening on Warped Tour? Like, why is that dude not on there no more? Oh, he touches kids. Really? Does he?
Right.
I don't know, but that's what I heard.
That's what I heard. And that's what I'm going to tell my friend. Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah.
It's like the whole the dude that fucking shoved the hamster up his ass way back in the day.
Who was that?
I can't remember his fucking name.
I don't remember now.
Fuck it. But he was
we
like
know
a
what you're talking about.
major actor.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody thought that. The Marilyn Manson rib thing.
Dude.
Like it's like
we didn't have internet in middle school. I don't know how that rumor spread the way that it did, but we all heard that rumor.
Yeah, it's like, but nowadays it's like music is so lit up that you can pretty much find out whatever information you want pretty quickly.
Right.
Unless something is like covered by like an NDA or something. But
right.
I think that was so interesting about him, like the Finn McKenty guy. But this is my like wild conspiracy. What if he's being blackmailed? What if he did no, dead serious. What if he did some shit like what if he and look, speculation. I know fucking nothing. What if he did something that is like you can never recover from? Somebody found it and was like, "Hey,
I'm gonna let this out if you don't pay me."
Or if they're like, either we let this out or you quit your channel completely. And he's like, "Okay,
maybe."
And then I'll make it up where I didn't like none of this. And
that would be a crazy plot twist.
That would be a crazy plot
twist. To me,
twist.
that makes way more sense because it didn't seem like he was making these videos because he didn't like it.
I think this is what happened.
There's care in this.
I agree with you there. So what I think happened is this. So I watched a lot of his live streams and a lot of not just like the main like little mini doc things he did. I watched pretty much everything he was doing for a while. And he would bring up all these old shows that he went to because he's like late 40s.
Yeah.
He looks really young.
Shows all the time.
Yeah, he looks really young, but he's like if he's not 50, he's getting close to 50 if I remember correctly. 50 McKenty. But he would talk about all these old punk shows and him collecting like old records and stuff. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, obviously him knowing the shit he knows about these old ass punk bands and these old scenes and having all the old posters, he was at one point into this music. Yes. Like at one point it didn't even have anything to do with his job. He was just into this kind of music. And so what I think ended up happening was he started this YouTube channel. He's always talked about being like a business guy and a marketing guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, if I'm going to, do a YouTube channel, I'll do it about something that I know about, something I'm a part of. People berated this guy. There was like whole hate threads on Reddit about they hate him because it's mostly just because of his hot takes. He had a lot of really hot takes about music. He's entitled to that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But
hot take, I didn't think a lot of them were that hot of a take.
There's a lot of people that probably did.
Yeah, he's pretty business minded and like pretty smart and savvy that I feel like a lot of his takes were, I don't know, just felt like straight.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like that wild unless there was some I just didn't hear, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of any specifically, but like sometimes he would do like, I think the first thing that we saw, which is like the first thing where we were like, it was sort of a bad first impression is he did like the top 10 metalcore bands or something. Yeah. And he like kind of crapped all over a lot of the bands that we really like. Yeah. And the ones that he had up there, we felt like were kind of overrated. That's not a reason to dislike someone personally at all. We were just like, dude, this guy's opinions on music kind of suck.
Yeah.
But that's
he hooked you.
Yeah. Somebody else though saw that and said, that's what I've been thinking. You know what I mean? So someone agreed with him. But I think what ended up happening was he started this. It grew really big. He started getting a lot of hate, and I could tell because some of the videos he would make about updating on the channel and stuff like that got to him mentally. Like not everybody can just be like berated with hate all day. Like the guys in Nickelback or Ronnie Radke, like some people can handle it, and they just thrive in the hate. It bothered him, and I think what ended up happening was he made so much money from the channel and from his other businesses. At a certain point, he goes, "Okay, I have enough money to retire now because I've been really smart business wise. Yeah. This pisses me off." It was fun at first. I was passionate about it at one point. He also complained about like wanting to do like videos on music that weren't like his audience main thing, like electronic music or emo rap, and people didn't like that, and those videos didn't do good. And so he got stuck doing nu metal videos, which he's not really a nu metal fan. Yeah. And he's like, dude, why do I want to put all this time and effort into making videos for people that fucking suck? They hate me. They talk shit about me all day, and I don't like this kind of music, and I can retire? Yeah. Fuck you guys. Peace out. That's what happened.
I honestly believe there's something to that too about like all we're seeing is the finished product, and this seems like so super digestible that it's like, oh, this must have been super easy to research all this. No.
Yeah.
You don't know how much time he spends into each video. I mean,
I will
some are gonna
say
be shorter.
Towards the end, he was saying he was mostly just Wikipediaing and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was bitter at the end. And so, like, I'm sure you heard about, like, the Jesse Lee interview he did. Like, it was, like, the last thing that he did. Where
Maybe.
that's kind of where the controversy came from. It was the last thing he did.
Yeah, where
and
he,
then
like,
he
confessed.
basically, he kind of talked shit about his audience.
Yeah.
I think that was him basically being like, I'm so disconnected from this, and I'm not going back, so I don't care if I burn the bridge.
See,
I'm just going to talk shit about these people because they've made my life miserable for a few years.
That's the thing I didn't like so much about the way he went out is, and why it made it feel a little disingenuous is because of how dry it was. It just felt like he's like, no, I never liked it.
Yeah.
So it made me feel like there's got to be something.
It felt like payback to
past
me,
it.
where he was like, to all these people that talk shit about me, I just want you to know you're the loser, not me, because you were watching content from a person that was fooling you the whole time. I got rich off what you gave me.
But him saying that, I still will watch his videos.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
I'll rewatch videos I've already seen because it's like, I like the band that he's talking about.
Yeah, and you'll forget the little tidbits that he brings up.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care if you got it all off Wikipedia, because seeing the visuals, he's got a nice voice. It being presented to me this way, all in a nice little package, is way better than me reading Wikipedia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or whatever.
And I feel like if he was really that fed up and like the joke's on you, you're the loser type, he would delete his channel. He'd delete everything, and that'd really be the biggest fuck you to everyone. Because if you really are that well off of money and you don't need the residuals that are going to continue to come in, you would just let it go.
I wouldn't do that shit. I would just keep raking that money in.
It'd be cool to see him like make a comeback one day. Like you were saying a little bit ago about the Nickelback thing, I think if you just push past that, like, you're going to have hate for a while, but then eventually people are going to be like, dude, you can't hate Nickelback.
Yeah.
You can't hate these. Like, he would eventually get past that. Like, Nardwar.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
The dude that mainly does hip-hop interviews, and he's really weird with the, like...
the creator.
Wiener.
He just knows shit he shouldn't know about. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there for a little bit, like, for a long time, nobody liked him. Like, people were actively hating on him. And now he's, like, just grandfathered into the community. Like, if you do anything against him, it's like, now you're a dick. You know, like,
well, again, that personality thing, like, there's nobody like him, and so when people, like, regardless of if it's a hate watch or an people are entertained by him, and so he's gonna shine a light on whoever it is that he's interviewing. So it's good for you. It's like back in the 90s and stuff with Weird Al, like when Weird Al first started doing parodies and stuff, that was a newer thing, but like at first a lot of artists would not give him permission to parody their music because they're like, no dude, you're gonna turn me into a joke. Now it's a fucking honor. If Weird Al wants to parody your stuff, you're like, please God, parody this song.
And you can't be corny by like asking, because then it's like
right
like
it has to be
to go on Joe Rogan. You're like, oh, I just hope he asks one day.
Literally
it's like, please
bring me on your show.
But it's
that's what we did with you guys. So we're the
but y'all are a quality thing. It's different. It's the way people ask sometimes. Like you won't know somebody from anybody at all, and they'll just be like, "Let me on the podcast," and it's like, what is that? It's like we gotta have some sort of rapport. Like it's almost like courting someone a little bit. Like if I randomly will see somebody on Instagram or something, or just in town doing something cool, I'll like message them. I'll be like, I like what you're doing. That's sick.
Right.
And then if they say something back, then I'll be like, ever thought about maybe coming on the podcast? Or it'd be cool if one day, I'll never be like, can you come on next week? I'll just like throw an idea out there, and if they like bite, then I'll be like, cool, they're interested, and then we'll go back and forth. But it's hard to just, but it's like also, you never know. I mean, like when we were starting the podcast, I literally sent out a message to Dave Portnoy.
Oh, wow.
Gary V, like all these big people that I was like, you should come on the podcast. Because who fucking knows, dude?
Right.
These people could buy, and they have the money to fly down here.
Right.
You know, it's like, it would be an insane podcast.
People do it all the time.
And I know I talk about this, like, if people have watched for a long time, way too much, but Mark Wahlberg, not the real, like, famous one that everyone knows, but the Temptation Island guy. Do y'all know who that is?
I know the show. I've never watched it though.
Okay, so he is the host of that show. There was also a show on MTV. It was something like Your Greatest Secret or something like that, where he would like have somebody and you go through a gauntlet of questions, and at the end is like $1 million.
Yeah.
But nobody can ever make it to the $1 million because they're personal. Like, have you ever cheated on your wife?
Right.
And you have to absolutely answer 100% correct to make it to the next level of money. And it'll be like 100,000, 125, 150. And while you're answering the question, your wife, your mom, your dad, your kids, they're all sitting like 25 feet from you on stage with you, watching you.
So you just got to be squeaky clean.
No, you don't be. No,
you got to be good at never have I ever.
Before the show airs, you come in, you do a polygraph. They ask you all these questions. So they know the answers. So on air, you have to answer exactly
as they know it to be true.
Yeah, and if for whatever reason, maybe you answer correctly, but your heart is like fucked up and it's like it.
Yeah, dude, that would make me nervous because it would be like, dude, what if the polygraph like screwed up and I'm like answering, and then everyone thinks something's not, you know.
I think the producers probably have some sort of like override button to make a noise to make it say yes if it is actually yes and make it say no if it like maybe the thing is going wrong live. Anyways, it goes fucking crazy, but he was the host of that.
Yeah.
And that's like you can only find that on like YouTube clips now, not even from that show, but it's like somebody's recorded the show. Because it's like such a controversial show because like it literally ruined people's lives. Because it'd be like, are you actively having sex with someone other than your wife?
Yeah.
And the dude would be like,
and they got all these famous people on where it's like, yeah, you could be.
Yeah. So, but we were in talks to have him on before the 5th season of Temptation Island because I'm like a big love television show person.
Okay.
Not like Love Island, not like where it's like hot singles. I'm talking like when it's like people in relationships that are fucking everything up that they've ever had.
Yeah, like the big drama train wreck kind of thing.
It's gotta be like Love is Blind is fun because it's like everybody's dating everybody, and then it's like then they're in a relationship and then they see what everyone looks like, then they start fucking things up.
Yeah,
shit like that. It's gotta be like a fucked up relationship thing, not like everybody's hot and fucking each other. It's like okay, that's like going to the club and just
Jersey Shore 2.0 kind of.
But we were in talks to have him on, but he couldn't come in person, and I don't really want to do Zoom. Ever.
Yeah.
I just feel
it's
like
just
the
less
delay,
personable.
Yeah, and you have to be really fucking good at Zoom for it to come off good.
Right.
Once it's out visually.
Right. Yeah.
Like maybe through audio it would sound fine because you wouldn't even be able to tell they're not in the same room. But there's also something about like how we're talking and like you guys kind of know when to step in or when not to step in.
Yeah, literally.
Like I'd be saying something and you say, yeah, literally. And I'd stop because I'm like, what? Because maybe there's a second delay.
Right. Yeah.
And you're like, nothing. I was just saying, all right. And I was like, oh.
What was I saying?
It
just like interrupts everything. Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it would be cool to have bigger people on. The Zoom thing is tough, but I'd love to have him on.
Yeah, dude, that would be cool.
Dude, you know who's somebody I always like looked up to, like in the music scene back in the day, and it was like I still have never really seen him talk on camera other than on these like little behind the music things, and it's only with metalcore bands.
Right.
But Joey Sturgis.
Yeah.
Like, what a legend. Like, how many things he's touched.
Dude, so many, dude.
Literally, he could walk across you in the grocery store, and, like, I bet a ton of people in Ohio have no idea who he is.
They have no idea.
They're just like, who the fuck is this nerd, dude?
He's influenced things that he had nothing to do with, just because, like, there's this whole era where he is the mastermind behind how that sounds, and then future producers, like future producers and future bands are trying to recreate that without him. Yeah. To this day, I think he's like the reason like modern metalcore sounds how it does is they basically took like what he was doing in the late 2000s, early 2010s and trying to improve upon that. Like, but yeah, because I remember like mid 2000s and stuff, dude. Like, you couldn't hear the kick in any songs ever. You had to listen for it. Now it's like the main thing the whole time. Like the kick is just like smashing you in the ear. It's like one of the main rhythmic parts of our genre, and that's because he started mixing stuff that way. So it's Yeah, he's a legend.
Also, another, like, this is a fun question to kind of ask, like, dudes in a band. But what is, because I have an idea of what band I think is this, but, like, what band do you think birthed the most bands from the members of the original band?
Oh, you mean like as in like what band
like,
started a bunch of other bands?
Yeah, like, so, like, let's just say, like, if Kiss was the first band.
Right.
If the members of Kiss broke up and they started making other bands, what band do you think made the most bands? Like
in our genre, it was Attack Attack.
Yeah, easily Attack
It's gotta be
Attack.
because you
It's
guys
got to be the most notable.
Mice and Men, Beartooth, Bill Murray.
Yep.
Damn, I just went the wrong way with that.
Attack Attack. Andrew had a band for a while too. Was it like
Nine Shrines?
Nine Shrines? Yeah, Nine
Also,
Shrines came from that.
This is super temporary and nothing was recorded with him. But Jerry Roush made Glass Cloud, I think it was.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, there was nothing
That's right.
recorded, but he was in the band for like a year. And
Yeah, he
while
was in
was
a
in
Mice and Men, right? For
Yeah.
like he did a
true,
Pop
that's
Goes
not Attack
Punk.
Attack.
Yeah, he did a
Damn,
Punk
that's
Goes
right,
Pop
that's a
song
thing.
with them, and that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. There was also an Attack Attack lead singer that it's famous for his Warped Tour thing where his voice is cracking, but he's like super fat. It was not Caleb, but it was like this super short, like seen hair, and he was like,
That I don't know. That could have been Caleb because that's
It
what
wasn't.
that's what he looked like back in the day.
no,
but it
Caleb's
could
always
have been
super tall though.
It could have been the final guy that they had because after their third album, Caleb quit and they had another guy come in that they did like one or two songs with.
Attack Attack Warped Tour. It's like one of their biggest videos of all time.
I don't know if I've seen it,
Like
but
Warped Tour videos.
yeah.
It's the guy in the Stickly video in the middle. See him? I don't know who the
That is Austin Carlisle.
Oh no, yeah. Well, that's who's singing, but that's not Austin.
Yeah.
Austin's not in the video, even though his voice is on the
Oh,
video.
really?
Yeah.
And it's
I did
this
not know
guy.
that.
Yeah, dude.
It's
I didn't
this
know
guy
that.
comes out. See, Caleb's in the red.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Caleb. Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's the
I actually completely forgot. Yeah, they had a guy that was filling in
It's so
between the
crazy.
first
it's
and
him
second
right there
album.
with the Johnny Cupcake shirt on or whatever. But like, also, dude, shout out to fucking Caleb. Caleb looks insane now.
Oh, yeah.
Mother is a fucking model now. Like, to
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
the behind the scenes of them recording the first album ever in studio.
Yeah.
They look like a just melted ice cream cone.
Wait,
Just terrible.
Yeah.
that is Austin Carlisle.
That is not.
Nope. No, it is not.
That's not?
Nope.
No, he's
Dude,
always
Austin,
been skinny.
He's always been as lanky as possible.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought.
I've
Nah.
never known who
I
this
thought.
guy
I
is.
always thought that was a chubby Austin Carlisle.
No, his Marfan syndrome won't even let him.
No, because like Austin too is like I think
sure that-
as tall
100%. That's not him. Yeah.
That looks like his face, though.
I see what you're seeing now. No, I knew
It's the
about
hair.
this. It is the hair.
Hey, you wanna
Something
see
about
how
his
much of an
nose
Austin-
looks the same, though.
You want to see how much of an Austin Carlisle fan and of Mice and Men? My fingers is Austin Carlisle's like Aspire Create thing,
Oh, that's sick.
and then of Mice and Men logo there, and then I have a Sworn In logo there.
Hell yeah,
But it's
dude.
like it was like such a grip
Shout
on
out
me.
Sworn In, bro.
Sworn In's so good. Like the first two albums, I haven't listened to anything past that. It's like I was talking to a buddy of mine about this the other day as well. It's like it's crazy how you won't listen to. You'll listen to so much of someone's music. Maybe you didn't listen to something before that or after that, but like there was an era where it's like this was my fucking band,
Right.
and then you just fell out. But it's like you still go back and listen to that same era again and again, like. Asking Alexandria's first album, Attack Attack of Mice and Men, like all of their everything, like Attack Attack, the whole AC 130 song is the reason why I have this playing on my arm, which is an AC 130.
That's crazy,
so
dude.
funny.
Yeah,
We covered that
was
song.
me growing up, dude.
Yeah.
We covered that
Mice and
song
Men
how
and
many
Attack
years ago
Attack,
now?
and we did cover
And
that
this
back as a different
and this
band.
shitty little bar. I don't know if you ever been to
Nick Barham,
blind
by the way.
Nick Barham.
blind
That's who
mule
that
in
is.
Mobile.
Who's
Nick
he
Barham.
I'm not sure.
That couldn't have been his only band. He had to be from something else.
He doesn't have like a Wikipedia page to himself, so he didn't do a lot. But yeah, you unlocked a memory for me when you said that. I was like, oh yeah, there was a guy, because they kicked out Austin. They didn't immediately make Caleb the vocalist. They had Nick for a little while. Then they didn't put out any music with him.
That's crazy.
And then they moved Caleb up front when he left.
That's hilarious, because every time I've ever watched this video, I thought that was just a chubby Austin Carlisle.
No, dude, he's always looked
so
the
crazy.
exact same. Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with his Marfan syndrome, because he's super tall, super lanky, and like just the whole shape of everything on him is because of that the problems he's got health wise.
God, man, y'all are
shout out Johnny though.
Just want to watch all the old.
Yeah, dude.
I'm gonna run after this, and it's like, okay, I already know.
We know what we're listening to. Yeah, dude.
That's fucking wild,
bro.
Dude, it's crazy to see how young they are. Yeah, Johnny Frank.
They were
like
16,
15,
17.
16.
And what is Andrew's last name?
There's Wetzel, and then there was another. There was another Andrew as well.
Wetzel is was over there on the left, but yeah, dude, that whole. Dude, just everything at birth from this band is crazy.
Yeah. I met which I think Wetzel's the drummer. The other Andrew was, I can't remember his last name. But I met him last year in Nashville when we went up there to, we went up there to record some songs, and me and Jeff, our drummer, went to a little like mixer with our producer, and there was like a ton of people there. And he was there. It's funny, though. You watch these videos. He looks totally different, because now he shaves his head and he's got a big old bushy mustache. So he just looks like a different guy. But he's still in Attack Attack. So, like, the new Attack Attack that they have, the new lineup, he's in it.
Dude, Woe Is Me just dropped even more new music. I didn't even know they came back at all.
Dude, so I didn't realize this. I saw a post the other day from them, and they were basically saying that two of their members were moving on. And I was like, oh, dang, I wonder. I couldn't remember who was like original members and who was like new guys or whatever. So I went and looked. They had 7 members.
Originally, yeah, it was really
Why does Woe Is Me need that many people? 7? Are you the Slipknot of metalcore? Like, I was blown away. But yeah, because they're like, we'll continue on as a 5-piece. I was like, 5? You just said you got rid of 2 guys.
Attack was 6.
True, 6 was pretty much like the thing then, because you needed two guitarists, you needed a keyboardist back then. So like the Devil Wears Prada did that, Under Oath did that. Everybody needed a keyboardist back in that time.
And some bands had 2 vocalists.
And some bands had 2 vocalists. So if you didn't,
Woe Is Me 2.
Yeah,
almost like every best version of them was 2.
Right.
Like, because you had oh man, what is that dude's name? Tyler
Carter.
Was that Carter?
Yeah, Tyler Carter. Yeah, the vocalist, right?
The very original. Yeah, he was like the.
And then he went on to be in Issues and everything.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Dude, I thought he died.
I didn't know he was in that.
Yeah, I thought he died recently. Like, not literally, but like I thought he was just like poofed from the scene after the controversy happened with Issues and everything. But
dude,
I found him online, and he's like really good friends with One OK Rock. And I'm talking like best friends with those guys. You know who that band is?
No, One OK Rock.
One OK Rock. They're from Japan. It's a bunch of Japanese guys, and they get their music and everything. Like the last the new like Beyblade series is like the theme song's them. They were in the last Sonic the Hedgehog game. They're a humongous band. They're kind of like if you took like modern pop rock and you meshed it with like the K-pop vibe, I guess. Or the J-pop vibe, I guess.
Yeah.
The music is rock, though. It's good.
Kind of like what Bring Me the Horizon's kind of dipping into a little bit.
Sort of. It might just be like the vibes visually are more the J-rock, not the music. The music is full on like rock and stuff, but they're really good. But yeah, like apparently I saw Tyler on Instagram the other day, and he's like been writing with a shitload of people. Like tons of bands that are huge, that are killing it. And I didn't realize that.
He kind of always reminded me of Black Bear. Do you know who Black Bear is?
That's yes. Where?
He's a rapper.
Yeah.
I say rapper, but I mean he does a lot of music. He does MGK. He does music with Mike Posner, which is also called Mansions.
Yeah.
That album is fucking crazy, but he kind of reminded me of like that version of like metalcore.
Right.
It's like he is also like Johnny Craig. I mean, there's so many people. God, they're like that just era of music was so dope. I can't remember when I stopped. I think whenever the album of Asking Alexandria came out, that was like the Black Album or something.
Stand Up and Scream.
No. It was like the only album they ever dropped without.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. That guy was really good.
He was really good, but like that time, I don't know when that was. It was 2017 or something. Was probably when I was out.
Yeah,
like, I was like, oh, what the fuck.
Right.
And that was like, I don't remember really keeping up anymore past that. But then I started watching. There's a dude on YouTube. His name's The Cozy Representative.
Okay.
And he does these like really long like what Punk Rock NBA does.
Okay.
But like they're hour and a half, 2 hours. And sometimes they're like 4 series long. So it's like 8 hours of like Attack story.
Ooh.
Just one band. And he'll might like talk about like, and they went on to do Of Mice and Men and all these other things, but like he'll go into like allegations, like fights, replacements, tours they went on, stories from those tours. It's like super good, but it's like one guy doing it.
Wow.
And he doesn't do a lot
of
work. Yeah, it is a lot of work. And I mean, the amount of research that happens, and the videos are just like kind of like still shots of like him talking, like a video of him talking, but it'll be like a still shot of like the tour poster or something.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta really like the stuff to like listen to it.
Right.
But it'll also be like clips of interviews and stuff. It's super well researched, so it like captivates you. You're just like, oh my god, I wish I would have known this back then.
That's how I am.
Makes you a
I
deeper,
love deep diving on that stuff.
It makes you like a deeper fan, or like maybe even lets you like be like, damn, I liked somebody that I didn't know was doing such bad shit.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I wish I was smart enough to do shit like that, because I would do shit like that. Like I would love to talk about the music I loved at the time.
Right.
Or like skateboarders I loved at the time, or wrestling. I like all these people that were so influential to who I am today. But like it would only make sense to people like that were of that era.
Yeah. Right.
You know, but like that would be the audience. But.
Right, yeah, we're definitely an audience, especially right now. Like nostalgia is like the thing. I'm starting to hate that word though, to be completely honest with you, because what I'm starting to see is like, who was I talking about this?
It's become a marketing tactic now, more than
it has, but also this, like, so like, you know how like trends come back around no matter what, like, so like they say it's like every 15 to 20 years, like stuff starts coming back around. Mm-hmm. But what you'll notice is like not everything from that era is going to come back around, because there are some things that are just too dated and they're just not going to be cool again. But what I think ends up happening is there's a new generation of kids, and they look back on these times and they go, this, and that about that time were really freaking cool, and it's brand new to me. And that's why that happens, is they just adopt all the cool stuff that aged well. Yeah. Right now, like there's the amount of kids right now starting bands that sound like old new metal bands that just sound just like Deftones and all this stuff, and they're taking that genre that we basically beat to death, and they're like re-engineering it. So they're making it new. They're adding new elements. They're not just rehashing old shit.
Half the metalcore scene is morphing into a Deftones style band now too, which is cool. But
I love that music. But it is like, how do you tell apart?
Right.
Unless you know the vocal or the, like, if there's something like key that you can hear.
Production is a huge thing, because like modern production just doesn't sound like that at all. Like there are very few albums that aged super gracefully because of just like the technology of the day. Yeah. So that style of music with the modern production on it sounds huge. And all these kids have had like 2 decades worth of other music to be influenced by to blend it with. Yeah. So it's like coming out really cool. So I don't think that it's nostalgia. I hate when people are like, oh, it's nostalgia baiting. And it's like, there's so many people that this is brand spanking new for, because they're like 20, 21. Yeah. That's not nostalgia. They weren't there at all. And they're the only reason it's cool again.
They also don't know what it's coming from. So they think this is like, whoa, this is someone making a new sound, which it is new. Right. It's hard to say when people are like, everything's been done in music. Yeah. You only think that because we've heard everything and you're whatever your age is at the time. Right. But it's like when somebody drops something that it might be like something else, but it is different enough. Right.
And now everything is blending, because before I feel like every genre had like a straightforward path where you could kind of tell where it was going. Heavy music's a great example, because like it's so funny when you trace it all the way back to like Elvis Presley and like the beginnings of rock and roll, which that's like, it's like the idea that that's rock music to kids is like, what? How the hell did that progress into this?
Yeah.
You know, and then like a decade later, Metallica, and a decade later, whatever, you know, all these bands. But like this stuff progresses slowly, but at a certain point, no one was blending genres at all. It was lame and it was looked down upon. It was shamed to do that.
Yeah.
The elitist thing was like a big deal. And now that's not how it is. So that's one way that everybody's shaking it up. I mean, like the new Sleep Token song has a freaking saxophone solo at the end of it.
Yeah.
And there's like whole pop sections that just sound like, oh, this is going to be a sexy pop song. And then a part that makes no sense because it's so heavy.
Yeah.
And it's like the first heavy part and it's 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
But people are loving that because it keeps you from getting bored. It's new, you know? Like
It's tough to really too give like full credit to who started something, because like
right.
even the Elvis thing, there's like controversy that it came from someone before him that was like a black artist, and then
which
who knew where he found
which he
made him think
told that most of people don't realize this. Most songs you hear from Elvis are covers, almost all of them. He had originals, don't get me wrong, but basically if there was a popular song written within that decade period where he was doing things, he covered it. He covered all of it, and people were more focused on his vocals than anything. But yeah, like I think like
like he covered that one 21 Pilots song.
Yeah, he did.
I Can't Help Falling in Love with You.
Right,
that song?
right. Yeah.
Covered that song.
Yo, dude, Johnny Cash covering that 9 Inch Nails song.
Oh my God, Hurt.
Hurt. Yeah.
And people don't know that it's a 9 Inch Nails song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you seen what they say about that?
No.
Like, because they get asked about it all the time. Like, what do you think about that?
Nails says
Yeah,
about it?
and they're like, we absolutely love it. That's not our song anymore. That's Johnny's.
Yeah.
They're like, they love that. They're like, he took that song and made it something that we never could have. So yes, he was covering our song, but that's Johnny's song, man.
Yeah.
Like he played ownership on that.
Imagine being Razor Johnny when he was like, I want to cover this song. Imagine being his friend and being like, what, you listen to 9 Inch Nails?
Right, and he's like, he was what, like 60, 70 years old, something like that?
Fuck.
Yeah, like he
looked like Uncle Ben.
He did look like Uncle Ben.
Like, he was like falling apart at the time. Dude.
Yeah, that was probably a lot from the drugs and alcohol that he did whenever he was younger, which he was done with that for decades before he passed, but like it takes a toll on your body when you're younger, so he's
well, you know what they say, with great songs come great Johnny Cash covers.
Yeah. Dude, it would be cool if like he would have did more, like do like a mini album of just covers.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of his songs that are covers too that
like,
we're not aware of.
Like Sweet Dreams. Sweet Dreams are maybe
Bro,
dude.
I feel like every cover of that song is just fire.
Yeah, dude, it is crazy. That and like another song I was thinking about the other day that I've heard like Instagram remixes that you're like, dude, is there a bad version of this? Gangster's Paradise?
Yeah.
It's like they'll slow it and chop it, and I'm like,
yeah,
where is this one?
Brother,
you do the like the Shazam on your phone, and
as far as I'm concerned, Amish Paradise is the real version of that song.
Right.
See, even that one,
bro. I grew up listening to that song on repeat, man. I still know most of the lyrics for that song.
I was such a sheltered kid that I did not know the original version of that song, so all I knew was.
And
White
I smiled
Nerdy.
at him, and I turned the other cheek.
Yeah, I knew White and Nerdy, and I knew the Amish Paradise, and so I didn't know the original.
Well, yeah, as an also growing up Christian kid, I knew most of those songs as the Weird Al version, not the original version.
Yeah,
White and Nerdy, I didn't even know was. Like, there was a time when I listened to Weird Al, and I didn't even know his songs were like all parodies, and I thought some of them were like originals. Like,
right? Yeah.
Does he? He has originals.
He has
right?
originals. Every
They're
album
just
is
not
like,
very popular.
Right. The ones that catch fire like virally are all going to be covers because he was putting this stuff up before the internet.
There was a time when I thought White and Nerdy was the original song.
Dude, it's crazy. There's a genre of that now. Like they call it like meme rap.
Yeah,
like you got like Young Gravy.
Oh yeah,
Dicky.
Love Young Gravy.
Like all these artists that like I don't
Baby
know.
No Money.
Who?
You don't know Baby No Money? He's like
BBNOS or whatever.
Yeah, it's pronounced Baby No Money, but he also plays into that as a meme because everyone thinks it's BB Nose or BB Nos or whatever. He actually changed his name on Spotify for like a day or two to BB Nos.
Oh my god,
dude, it's
Man.
hard
Krispy
to tell,
Kreme,
like,
though?
Yeah.
with the whole letters and
Kreme.
everything
Yeah.
is like, you got people from certain like groups or whatever, and it's like, the one that I can remember earliest, but it made sense because it was like actually a word already, is ASAP.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
ASAP,
Yeah.
like always strive and prosper, but
You
everybody.
mean ASAP, Rocky?
Yeah. See, nowadays
As soon as
it's
possible,
like,
Rocky.
why be in Neymar or like some of these I don't even know if I'm allowed to say like the initials for, because it's like,
Right, because it's
like,
Right,
yo,
yeah.
what's YN mean? I'm like, oh, I don't know, dude.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
but
can't imagine.
yeah, dude, music has so many different faces, and like, it's so cool that you could literally be anybody in the world and make music, or just be talented enough to make music.
Yeah.
Like, there's no like like a baby and you're like, yep, they're gonna be good at this.
Right.
Right.
They could be a vocalist, they could be a drummer, they could be something that instrument that doesn't even exist yet, and they create it and become the best at it.
Right.
Who knows? Like,
That's basically like how like doing production is.
There's
now.
a dude
Like,
that
you
I
gotta,
follow on
making synths and
Instagram
stuff.
that does speed bag covers. His name is
That's
Speed
sick.
Bag Bard. It's literally
Oh,
just like
man.
speed bag, and he's like drumming with
Yeah.
the speed bag to songs.
I
That's,
can just like listen
like
to
that's who would think you look at a baby and like, this kid's going to make speed bag covers.
think about,
Well,
like,
I will, but I mean, I won't speak for everyone.
you're like, something about that baby makes me want to punch it.
Right.
Like, I think that baby would be good at
I think
punching.
that all the time, but
Also, it's cool to see like when new innovative like instruments get introduced to music that becomes like iconic. Like, I know something existed before Steve Miller Band, but like the whole like, I don't know what it is, that fucking pipe or whatever that you like use your voice as like the guitar. It's like,
Do you know what he's talking about?
you know,
are you talking about like a vocoder?
no, it's like a pipe that you use for air, and it sits in your mouth.
Huh.
And you blow into something, and it like creates the wow.
I don't
It's
know.
like, I don't know what the fuck.
A
It
kazoo.
it sounds familiar. I would have to see
I don't
it.
even know what you call it.
I would have
Somebody
to see
pull
it.
your phone out and Google what it's called, and I'll show you what it is on this. But I don't know how to Google that.
I don't
Musical
either.
instrument using your mouth with a tube.
Jaw harp? No, that's not what you're talking about.
Not a talk box, I don't think. But you normally see like vocoder. Maybe
That's what I was thinking is a vocoder,
Let's hear.
which
let's
you
hear
can
it
like
for a
use
second.
that, and you can like,
Yes.
yeah, vocoder. Yeah, so it's
No, not that. The talk
Talk
box.
talk box. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So that is
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the Daft Punk thing.
yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
That's been introduced into music so long ago, but it's
Yeah.
like, who would have even fucking thought of that?
Yeah, dude, that's got to be what that dude's using in that song. We've
It
been
is. It
listening
is
to.
100%. Yeah.
So there's a game that we really like called Bomb Rush Cyberpunk,
Yeah.
Okay.
and it's got a killer fucking soundtrack. It's like this like early 2000s themed cell shaded game about like punks that are just like spray painting walls and skateboarding and inline skating and stuff. And the soundtrack's incredible. And there's just like this one song. What's it freaking called? I just want people to like check it out. But the whole hook is
Something
just
funk.
like him speaking through the talk box, like being like, "Let me see you shake that ass," and it's like the freaking catchiest thing you've ever heard. What was it freaking
It was
called?
Ollie, I think, was the
Ollie
artist.
is the artist for sure. Precious Thing. That's what it's
Precious
called.
thing, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
like
song's sick.
that's definitely what he's using in this song. Let's see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't play too much of it; it'll like kick us.
Yeah.
By the way, this is that cozy representative guy. Like, he does these like crazy. See, it says part 1. That's only one.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
But
what,
it goes
hour and
into
a
like
half?
all sorts of people, like, and dude looks like he's from that era for sure.
Definitely. He's either sharing old pictures or he got the Family Force 5, dude. I love Family Force 5.
Yeah, they got like, I mean, he goes into everything. What was the dude that
the
was
cozy representative.
Oh, the fucking. He looked like Ollie Sykes, but he was not. He played like really light music, like
I don't know.
Poppy Love. God, what the fuck was his name?
Never Shout Never?
Never Shout Never.
I hate that
yeah.
What the fuck is the guy's name?
I don't know. I always hated that.
But he went in.
My wife would know. I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Him. Fucking, I don't know his fucking name, but he did more than just Never Shout Never, that guy.
Oh, yeah.
He had another band, but I can't remember the name of the band. But yeah, it was, he goes into like some pretty depth shit.
How we go about pee breaks on this thing? I think I've made a mistake. I drank way too
Christopher
much liquid
Drew.
death.
Yes, that is the Never Shout
Christopher
Never.
with an F.
We'll be wrapping this pretty soon, but do you want to talk about the music?
Yeah.
I feel like we got off on some like.
That's all.
Yeah, man,
we've
we've just been shooting the shit.
Yeah, that's all the best
It's
stuff.
always the goal. Just shoot the shit,
Yeah,
man.
so like, what is the newest project coming up? Like, what is the?
So we're in the middle of our second album, basically, and we're dropping everything as a single. It just works better that way. Kind of shines a light on every individual song. We just released a single about a month ago called Catalyst, and then we have another one coming out May 2nd called Kaleidoscope. But yeah, the album is getting really close to being completely finished, but we're going to be releasing a single like once every like 2 to 3 months until it's basically all out. But yeah, so we actually don't even have a name for the album yet, despite the album being almost done. But we have
a
a little bit
working
of time.
title, but I don't think we want to officially announce it until we actually decided on it. But
Are there any ones that you know you're not going to use that you're like, well, this was almost the title?
Butt Dick.
Well-
Butt Dick's not good. Or Dick Butt.
What is one of your favorite
Usually-
that you've almost written, or like maybe a title for something that you never use that you're like, damn, I wish we could have used this title but never did.
Oh,
Like in your maybe individually too. Like you don't have to have a
like
group.
demo titles and stuff.
I think we have the opposite where it's like great titles we knew we weren't going to use, but like, because I know Become of Me used to be called, it was like the little ingent that could. So like
Oh,
Gent
I
was
forgot
like in
about
there,
that.
Yeah.
And we knew that
There's
song
a
by that for a
couple.
while.
It's fun how that used to be a thing where like
Oh,
the
yeah.
title like
Yeah,
Scarlett
the working
O'Hara-
title just stayed the title. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Scarlett O'Hara, the band, used to
Yeah.
have really fun titles to their names.
Yeah.
Or like Oh Manhattan, do you know who that is?
Mm-mm.
It's like Who Woe Was Me before Woe Was Me was.
Oh, okay.
That's who like half of that became Woe Was Me.
Yeah.
The people, dude, it is an amazing album. They only made one album, but it's called, I think, Spiritual Warfare.
Yeah.
Dude, but it, like one of their songs is about their friend killing themselves.
Right.
And dude, if you don't cry listening to that, you just don't care.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know who the guy was. Like still
Right.
to this day, I have no idea who it was. But it's like, it is such a strong. I'll play it after this. Y'all are gonna be like, "Damn, that's fucking."
Yeah, that's
good.
like
Go listen to it.
Youngblood by Wage War. It's like the same thing. Like I cried when I saw them play that live because it was like a friend of theirs that was also a fan of the band that passed away. Yeah, it sucks, dude. It sucks how much of that. It sucks that I can think of several songs that are about that. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
I wish there wasn't that much music about that because but it
But it's
just
good
happens
that
so
people
much.
care enough
Yeah.
to write and can
Right.
write. It's not
Yeah.
just some shitty song. They just like,
Right.
Greg was great.
Yeah.
I
What was
can't sing.
the Alpha
Yeah.
Wolf song that's about that too? On was it A Beautiful Place to Die? Is it the name of the album?
I wasn't even aware that there was a song about that on there.
Yeah,
but
dude, there's a
is it-
really
is
sad
it the
one.
emotional song? I'm trying to think of. There's an
You
emotional.
sound like a
song.
really off detective.
There is like there's
Is it
one
the
song where there's
emotional song?
there's like a clean like a female clean
This song's
vocalist.
heavy. This song is heavy as shit.
I mean, all the songs are
but
heavy.
That's true. That's hard to differentiate when it's an Alpha Wolf. But regardless, the lyrics on that whichever song it was, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like gut wrenching about a similar thing. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got quite a few singles coming out this year, and we're thinking by like this time next year, like the whole thing will be out, and then we'll already have some more new stuff lined up to start dropping after it's finished. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
And when it comes to like dropping singles and whatnot, like what is the course of action? You drop a single. Do you do a couple shows on that?
yeah. Usually, we're gonna try to drop some merch that's got something to do with like each of the songs that we're dropping, and also like do some shows to promote each individual one. In the modern day, it just became completely like not. It's just not a good idea to drop all your music at once because one, you make like 45 minutes to an hour worth of music, right? Not everybody has the time to consume that all at one time. And by the time they get the time to do it, they've forgotten your album ever came out.
Yeah.
And you drop a like 2-3 minute song though. They're like, oh, I've got that. I'm going to work today. I can check that out. Oh, cool. It goes on my playlist. Cool. This will be the new music from this band that I needed. This will get me by one song for a month, you know? And then when the next one comes out, that's all you have to focus on is just that. If you want to consume it as an album, the way that it was like written and made to be consumed, you can do that once it's all out. But until then, you just familiarize yourself with each track individually instead of having to like eat the whole fucking hamburger at one time. You know what I mean? Like it helps people kind of digest and, you know, focus on it.
I definitely feel like that's been a changing of the times. Like back in the day, you used to like be able to do that.
Right.
A whole album at a time, but it's like the single does seem to be the better way now.
Yeah.
Which we still love. Like, we love the vibe of like an album, and like you sit down and listen to an album, but you just gotta play the game sometimes, and that's just where the industry is right now. I mean, rappers have been doing that for years and years and years, and bands in the rock and metal scene are almost like only just now kind of getting the grasp of that to like follow that path.
Back in the day, you had no choice but to consume a whole album, and by that I mean like if you wanted to have the CD, which was the only way to listen to it, you bought the whole CD. You paid the $10 to $15 to get all the tracks, and for the band and the label, they're like, well, I don't care if you never listen to this again. We've got your money. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why everyone was so freaking rich back then. And nowadays, it's like if you want to be seen, you want to be heard, you want people to know who you are and be successful, you can't make filler tracks because filler tracks don't get streamed, they don't get shared, and you just wasted your time and money. So you have to make an album of bangers, and I hope that's what we've done. But not only that, like people have to know it exists, because you can write the greatest song ever written. If no one knows it exists, it will not help you.
Yeah. I think what also helps with people, like, I kind of see you guys, or like culturally, it seems like whenever you have individual band members doing like covers or like showing like, I can't think of the name of the series, but it's like, whenever a drummer listens to a track with no drums,
what they like a Drumeo stuff,
right?
Yeah,
that shit is sick. Or it's like you doing a vocal cover or something, like your take on what this would be like if I did the song.
Yeah,
right.
Like y'all all doing that like individually on your own socials, and it being tied to like your band social.
Yeah,
that I think is another way of like growing, because it's like I want to hear his take on this. I want to hear his take on this,
right?
Because it's fun. It's like you kind of, or I've been getting advertisements from like AI, but it's like two people driving in a car, and it's like a song plays, and it's AI version of your voice in that song.
Right.
Yeah.
So dumb, because you can actually do that.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so like y'all have the ability that y'all can actually do that. I can't sing for shit. I can't fucking drum. I can't bass. I don't even know how to say it. Like I can't do any of those things, even kind of faking
right.
it.
Yeah.
Right. But like y'all have the ability to do it. Y'all should do that. I think that would be really
That
cool.
is a pretty sick idea too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, especially with the talent y'all have, like, and you could like dive into the things that you actually really like.
Yeah.
So it'll show more of your character and like your interests.
Yeah, for sure.
So people get to know you. Even they get to know you more than just being like, my favorite color is blue.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this is his personal inspiration. This is like this all collectively creates this band.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
It's cool that we can do that kind of stuff in the modern day, and like especially like us being independent, we can do whatever we want when we want to, and just like put it out, you know. So it's pretty sick.
That is sick. When y'all release music, obviously, like I assume a majority of the people listening to this have never done that. Like, what is that like? If you're unsigned, you can just drop music whenever you want.
Essentially, yeah.
Now there's like limitations as far as like just like processes. Like if we uploaded a song today and we said like release today, well, Spotify's not gonna get it. Like it's not gonna be out. We'll like start
you need
making
about
posts.
2 week.
Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks
like
worth of
2-week
heads
buffer.
up. That way, all of the like each of the different streaming platforms receive it. They've checked it, make sure everything checks out, and then it's up. Because if you do it immediately, like maybe Spotify does get it, and then your listeners that have Apple Music look up and they're like, well, it's not here, and then they forget about it by the time it goes up. So we do have to like prepare, like with our like marketing money and get ads set up and get like all the visualizers and graphics. Like there's a process to it, but yeah, no one can tell us no. We just do it and get it done as quick as we can.
And then also, how do you guys get on, or how does Spotify or Apple, mainly Spotify, I feel like Spotify is more of the playlist type.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like, how do they pick and choose who is like maybe the hot whatever 50 or hot 100 or like how do they get y'all on playlists, or how does that work?
So we submit songs before they actually go live to Spotify for someone to curate and look it over and see if they want to include it. How they go about that process, we have no idea. Like it's just up to them. Like maybe, if we submit on a week where we have no idea, there's just a million submissions and we just never get listened to. That could happen. Or we could get lucky and they find us and they go, wow, I really love this. And then they put us on. So,
which we did somehow get on an editorial playlist with Catalyst for like a week.
Yeah, we did. It was sick.
It was like the all new metal playlist, which is pretty big playlist, got like 700,000 follows.
Right.
So we got some good streams from that. But it was only on it for like a week because they constantly rotate that out. But
y'all get notified that you're on a playlist?
Yeah, we got an email and we were like, we were in Nashville at the time. We were recording. And then we got the email that we had a playlist. And we were like, yo, no, I wish. It did help us get a couple streams kind of boosted on that song initially though. But yeah, we lost the playlist like week after or something, but we still got some good streams off of it, and I'm sure it's some follows.
Mini playlists. I wouldn't even be hating,
Yeah.
Y'all should try to curate your own. Like, of course, have your music on it, but like try to become a playlist.
Yeah,
we did that one time, but we didn't really like
push it super hard. Yeah, you can go to like our Spotify and find one where it's like a bunch of our influences and stuff we've been listening to, which we should probably update that soon.
Yeah. I think we named it Angry Disco.
Yeah.
This is like, just some dumb name.
Goofy.
Yeah. Yeah, we are definitely trying to find like different avenues of like new ways of marketing, because obviously we do all the normal stuff, you push the visualizers and all that, you make your posts, hey, in case you missed it, here's our single, blah blah blah, share the story, all that stuff, but there's obviously a million other things you can be doing on the internet to like further your reach. Like I actually just started a meme page for us like a couple days ago, and that's kind of my thing that I'm trying to push. You
want to shout it out now?
Huh?
What, you want to shout it out now?
Yeah, it's literally, so it's really just Instagram right now. At some point I'll probably integrate it to other platforms and start posting on TikTok and stuff like that, but right now it's at Afterdusk _memes on Instagram, and I'm going to start doing that, like posting multiple times a day. So I'm trying to grow that right now, see where that goes. We got some good attention on like the first reel I posted. The rest of them, like the last couple of days, haven't been doing as well, but I'm still trying to see where it goes, kind of figuring it out. But that seems to be like where a lot of people are kind of finding success, which we talked about this initially. We didn't want to like turn the band page into a meme page. It was like, let me just friggin' create an alternate account, and it can be like linked to the band. Like I have the link in the bio to our actual page and stuff, and like I'm using the memes like with clips of our music in them. So like, people see the meme, they hear the song, like, hey, what's the song? Check it out. I'm gonna try to integrate that.
I don't mean in this,
but
I'm about to pop.
He's about to pop.
Your pages don't hit the camera with the door.
He is full.
Is there anything you want to shout out before we get out of here? Like you can start
yeah, just the Instagram. So Afterdusk Band on Instagram, I believe, is our handle. Actually, I'm blanking on that. I think that's what it is. Let me check real quick. Yeah, it's literally just Afterdusk Band on Instagram. Probably the same thing on TikTok, which we aren't really on the TikTok game like we should be.
Yeah.
Obviously, all of our links to Spotify, YouTube, all in our link tree in our bio, on Instagram, everywhere. You can find everything in our link tree. So that's really about it. go follow the meme page. Go follow our YouTube. Same thing, Afterdusk Band. That's really it. Yeah, we got
big on multiple social media.
It is, which a lot of them, at least, you know, the meta stuff is all kind of seamless and integrated. But like with TikTok, like obviously you got to get on TikTok and you got to post on there, and it's like a whole separate entity. But I don't know. I know Instagram is like Instagram is a platform that's been around. It sticks around, so I feel confident and kind of pushing Instagram. I feel most comfortable with Instagram.
You need to push
but we should we do push YouTube. We post stuff on like YouTube Shorts and stuff. And obviously like since I do like I can do like a little bit of visual stuff, like I have a camera and all that, and I can edit videos and stuff. So we do like cover videos, or not cover videos, but playthroughs and stuff. We're going to start we just got a setup where we can do drum playthroughs. So we're going to start posting those for new songs and stuff too, and guitar stuff and all that. So we're going to keep pushing the YouTube, but yeah, we need to
y'all should also film
keep going through that.
A year-long like lead up to the album, and like when you drop the album, maybe like a month later drop like a documentary.
That's something we've been trying to be more conscious of, is like pulling out our phones or like having the camera on us to like record stuff. Like last time we went up to Nashville, like we recorded a lot more stuff than we usually do, because like a lot of times we're just like in the moment, we're like like let's do our thing, you know, and we forget like you live in the age of the internet. You're a fucking content creator. You're not a band anymore. You got to do the thing. So that's something we're being more conscious of now, and trying to get a hold of. So we definitely will have a lot of stuff to post when the time comes. Just got to keep putting together stuff and then make that
we should definitely
happen.
be doing more on our TikTok, but I'm an old man, dude.
We're all
saying that it's tough to be on multiple social medias and be active and on top of it. It's real tough.
I know TikTok is king right now, but we're all like,
I don't know why
we're all out of that.
TikTok. Like, I don't know why. Like,
I've never been on it, but I heard like once you open it, you're just on it. It's like jumping into interstate traffic. You're just in it, and you can't. There's no homepage or whatever, and I'm like,
it's never grabbed me like that though. Like,
to me, that seems annoying.
Yeah,
I want to be able to get like how YouTube, you get on it, and then it's just videos, and you can go around.
Yeah, it's just an endless scroll of reels. Like it's
like Instagram has that, and I feel like better because you have an explore page that's not moving that you can just look at it and be like, let's start here.
It is pure ADHD manifests is what TikTok is, but it's working for a lot of people.
I feel like nowadays I don't know how there isn't like just an explosion of quote unquote ADHD cases, because like when I was a kid, I was diagnosed with it and ADD. But it was like, it was gaining ground at the time, but like nothing compared to now. Like, how do you have attention now?
Right. Yeah.
It's like now it's super hard, but when I was a kid, it was like there was no phones. You couldn't hold something and just be playing. You were taking a shit and reading a shampoo bottle. And
dude, I remember.
What is erythritol?
You're like trying to get out of there fast. So I remember you can get back to the PlayStation 2.
My first cell phone, I was in middle school, which was actually earlier than a lot of kids are. Like, dudes our age, like, didn't get phones that early, a lot of them, but it was like a Sony Ericsson flip phone, and I thought it was so cool because it was like, it wasn't a smartphone. We call them dumb phones now, but it was like it had like these cool features. Like I had like a ringtone maker. Like it was like a music maker on the phone that I could make these little ringtones. And I was like, this phone's sick as fuck. And here we are,
like a Mozart dog.
Here we all like 15, 16, 17. I don't even know how long ago that was, but like years and years and years later, iPhone. Freaking, what are we on, 15 now? Like,
something crazy.
Which they haven't done 15 iPhones because like they skipped several just because they really wanted to get to 10 one year. Remember that? I think it went from like iPhone 7 to like 10. They just skipped 9 and 8. Maybe there was an 8. They skipped one though because it was like, I think it was.
I didn't know that.
Might have been 2010. And they wanted the
Jamie
the
fact
theme
check
to
that,
be
please.
X so bad that they just skipped a number.
Jamie, will we pull that up?
Right.
That might have been it, dude. That is crazy. But like even within that, they've released several phones of each number.
Yeah.
So it's like now
that's true. Yeah,
right. You have the standard version, and then you have the Pro, and then you have the Pro Plus,
then you have the
Pro Max, and then you get the.
I'm an iPhone
vibrator
guy,
edition.
But if iPhone ever like finally branched out, have y'all seen the new flip phones where like when you open it, the screen goes from top to bottom? So like there's a hinge in the screen, like, but you can't see it when it opens and it's flat. It just looks like a flat screen. You're like, how the fuck
I just don't know how those phones like the screen doesn't get ruined over time.
Yeah,
of, like, flipping that in and out.
My friend Jason has one.
Oh yeah.
He's like, over time, you're going to have to get a new screen.
Yeah.
But, like, it is seamless when it opens.
Right. That's cool. I would be cool, though, if it had an actual hinge, though, and it was two screens that acted like one. I would not care if there was a
just give us Nintendo DS phones. Like,
dude, I'm
quit
not
flirting
gonna
with
have
the
a phone
idea.
anymore. I'm carrying around. I'm going to PictoChat everybody.
Quit flirting with it. Let's just bring back the Nintendo DS and just use those.
Right, yeah.
Give me cell phone service on Nintendo DS.
Like I went.
Were you a PSP kid?
No, I never had money. Like so,
That's fair.
Had a Game Boy Color.
Yeah, same.
Like the original color.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then after that, the next thing I got was a old used PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then after that, maybe PS2, and then everything else has been like.
Yeah.
Me paying for it full price.
Right. I remember when the Wii came out, it was like 2007. My parents were like, "This is the last gaming console we will ever buy you," and I'm like, "No," because I ended up selling towards the end of that console era. I ended up selling my Wii in like literally every single game I owned to buy an Xbox 360. Like a year before the Xbox 360 went out of trend, like.
Dude, I didn't know like GameStop did these things where you trade in. And then I had what was it? Something, and the only game that I wanted to play was on Xbox, but I am a PlayStation person. So the controller just makes more sense to me.
Yeah, same.
And so I was stuck on Xbox for a little bit, and then College Football 25 came out, and I was like, I gotta get a PS5, dude.
Yeah.
But.
We got one just because whenever Hogwarts Legacy came out, my wife, like, she's a Harry Potter nut. And I wanted one anyway, but I was like, at that point in time, they were so expensive. And
hard to get.
Yeah, they were hard to get. Yeah, when COVID came through and everything. But yeah, she was like, I have to get one of those for that. Because, dude, literally like I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. I don't remember what I was playing, but I was playing something, and I just set the controller down, and I looked at her, and I was like, dude, you know what's stupid? I don't know why the hell they haven't made a Harry Potter game where you're just in that world. You're in the castle. You're in the world. You
made a couple in the PS2 era.
Yeah, they made like
movie-based
games that weren't that big because they were like, hey, we have a movie that's almost done. Make a game about it in 6 months or whatever they would do. But I was like, why don't they just do a modern console game like that? And then they did Hogwarts Legacy like just a couple years later. And I was like,
honestly, they kind of cooked with that game. I've only played like maybe 8 hours of Hogwarts Legacy, but it is sick that you can just walk around the castle and like the entire world is like built up and it's like so detailed.
She's beaten it like twice, and I'm like 70% of the way through it. I got interrupted by my television shit in the bed, and then I didn't have a television for like a month and a half.
And then I'm hooked on
now I have to get back
Cyberpunk.
in that mode, oh, now I'm back in this game.
Dude,
but
I was in College Football 25 for like while the season was happening. As soon as it like wrapped up, I was just like, what am I doing?
Right. You're like, I'm not in football mode now.
And I play very simple games. Like I went from that to like Spyro.
Yeah, I love Spyro.
And then
the Reignited trilogy.
Yes.
It honestly goes so hard.
Yeah,
it's such a good like remake.
Yeah, they redid it really fucking well. Like the colors and everything pop, and it's super crystal clear. But that and like NASCAR and Need for Speed, it's like things that I can do in real life. And then Spyro, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I can throw a football, I can drive a car.
Yeah.
If I can do that, I'll play that. But like, I never got good at games where you can do this, and then you can do this, because I get stuck here.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how the fuck to get the character to start looking back down like this. So like, I'll be playing and I'll be, oh fuck.
You're just like now you're just
they're killing me.
you're just stuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like first person shooters and stuff, I'm not great at. Like
No.
no matter what the sensitivity settings are, I'm like always like that much off
Dude,
from like hitting
if
somebody.
the view is how I'm looking right now and all I'm seeing is my hands,
Yeah.
we're fucked.
Right, yeah,
We're
I
not
agree.
winning whatever
I
we
want to
gotta
see the
win.
character, dude. Like I grew up playing like Jack and Daxter and stuff where you see like the whole little character
Yeah.
and everything. That was my shit.
I can work my way around first person shooters, but I don't. I'm not.
Yeah,
like,
Ratchet and Clank was sick. Yeah.
The new one on
Yeah.
PS5, I don't know.
Yeah, the Rift Apart or whatever.
I haven't played it yet,
so
but
it's
fun,
really good,
because you're
yeah.
like in space and stuff, and
Yeah.
like, so many different worlds. And I never played it until that game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, damn, this rips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played the
pretty
OG
sick.
one. I know there's a lot in the middle that I missed, but yeah, I played the
You
original
could
like
pick
1 or
up
2.
right at that Rift
really
Apart
good.
or
Yeah,
Rift
yeah.
Apart or whatever. And
Yeah,
it's so fun.
Yeah. Dude, all the games that were like from that PS2 era are just like the best. Like that, I think the PlayStation 2 still has like the biggest library of games like
Yeah.
of any console ever.
Yeah.
Like they just shit out games, and obviously like not all of them were like masterpieces,
No.
but so many of them were. And now like a lot of stuff that we're making is like either based on games that were sort of like that, or like they're like sequels or remakes to that, because you just can't beat it. Like I've been telling Chris about this game that I've been playing, dude. It's a like 2001 game. It's called Kinetica, and it's about these it's a futuristic racing game where like you're in this really big industrial cityscape and you can like drive on the walls and the ceilings. But one of the cool parts is that you don't drive in vehicles. Like the person is the vehicle. You're wearing like these like kinetic, like
It's like
tight ass.
Tron or something.
Yeah, you're wearing like
Yeah,
these
yeah.
robotic suits.
It's like Human Centipede meets Tron, basically.
They like so like the wheels are like on their ankles or like on their hands. So like their hands are down and their feet are behind them, and like when you're turning, you're just seeing a person do this. But they're like wearing these full-on robotic suits. Some of them are big, some of them are just like skinny little people. But what's so funny about it, dude, is it's like, you know how like we make fun of like Lara Croft for like the original Tomb Raider games and just like the triangle boobies,
Or the
like
pyramid titties.
yeah, the pyramid titties. Yeah, like so it's still pixel like that, but it's not near as bad because PlayStation 2 was like a big upgrade.
Yeah.
But like every part of this character, like the female characters are wearing like I said, full mech suits, full helmets, except their ass. Like their ass is out. like if they turn
So we're
over,
gonna go
like,
back
dude,
to your
talk
house and
about-
play that after this, right?
Talk about road rash on your ass cheek if you
Ass
turn
out,
around.
dude.
But yeah, the game is so freaking cool, and it has like that '90s action movie kind of like soundtrack. You know what I'm talking about, like The Matrix and stuff like that.
Fight Club.
Yeah,
I see
Fight
the-
Club. Which where
I see the soap on the table.
the soap? Where am I missing?
The Fight Club soap, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's
right
It's the sticker
Oh,
on
On the
corner.
table, bro.
Bro, that's sick. That's my
I
favorite
literally
movie
have
of all
been on
time.
this table forever, and I'm like, we have soap on the table.
I was looking
I
for
was
like,
where the fuck is this
soap.
soap? Yeah.
But no, that's cool as fuck. That's my favorite movie of all time. The soundtrack
all
is
time?
yeah.
We cannot get into a movie talk right now.
You need a whole nother episode for that.
Right.
Movies are big on me. Like Fight Club is your number one.
Yes.
What's your number one?
I don't know if I really have. I'm not really that
It can
big of a
change.
movie person.
It changes.
I'm honestly not that big of a. I'm not like a cinephile. Like
Yeah.
I have buddies that are like, bro.
Yeah.
Like we have a buddy Ty. He's
Yes,
like
he's
he's like our
everything.
visual guy. He does like all of our graphic design and shit. But he is like he will go to the movie theater like every week and
Yeah, I
watch
love
every
it.
new movie.
He's got like
I'm
the
not that
subscription
guy.
thing where like he
So do
can
I.
just watch all
I
the
have
movies.
movies that I love. Most of my like favorite movies in my head are like the movies that I grew up watching over and over again.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
What is
It-
one of those?
I have like very shitty ones. Napoleon Dynamite was like a huge movie for me growing up. I
That's
was a big
classic,
Star
though.
Wars
It's a
kid
classic.
growing
no one
up.
hates that movie.
So still like in my head, like on an emotional level, my favorite movie still is Star Wars Episode 3.
Okay.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
See, I would like
And,
y'all have very new movies.
Oh, you got,
guess,
you
like-
got older shit in the back of your head.
You like Heat?
Heat?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it.
Casino?
I know I need to see. There's a lot of movies I have not seen.
Heat is like a bank robbery movie with Robert De Niro and Val Kilmer, and it's based on a true story.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sucks.
R.I.P.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
hate that
Yeah.
just happened. But yeah.
But it's based on this true Los Angeles bank robbery type deal. Like when he's walking down, well, you don't know the thing, so it's hard to be like, like that thing.
Right.
We'll look into it, but if you watch Heat, I don't think you'll regret it. But like the whole plot of the movie is like, are you going to go too far. Like, are you willing to drop everything in your life when the heat's right around the corner?
Oh,
like,
okay.
That is, like, one of the scenes is, like, Al Pacino talking to Robert De Niro because Al Pacino's chasing Robert De Niro.
That's a
the whole
killer
movie.
cast.
Dude, it's a
Holy crap.
crazy movie.
Yeah,
Crazy
I have to watch
movie.
that.
But, like, that talk between them is, like, such a legendary and iconic scene because he's basically telling Robert, like, hey, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I've been surveilling you. Like, I know what you're about to do. Don't do it because if you do, I'm going to kill you or you're going to jail for life.
Right.
And Robert De Niro basically says, I have to do this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
good luck.
Do what you got to do. Yeah.
And it ends like how you fucking want it to end. And
Right.
it's like a fucking...
What era is this? Like, what time period? Not in the movie, but, like, when did it come out?
It came out, I want to say, mid to late 90s. So, like, Casino's 95. I want to say Heat is, like, maybe 97.
That's when I find, like, most of, like, my favorite movies, like, came out. But, like, there's a lot that I missed. Like, I need to backtrack. It's, like, every time I watch stuff from that era, like, I find something cool that I love. Like, one of my other favorites is the Boondock Saints. Like, that first specific... I love both of them, but the first one specifically.
So Casino and Heat both came out in 95.
Wow, yeah.
Robert De Niro was just fucking hitting bangers for
he
like
was.
that entire year. That's crazy. Yeah. Basically, any Robert De Niro like mob movie or any mob movie like Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Fucking when there's a long story of like bad shit happening and like them getting away with something and then like something catching up to them. I love shit like that. Like,
yeah.
Also, I know this is like I say this every time we do it, like a top movie thing. Four Christmases.
Okay. I don't
This
think I've
is
heard
a
of that.
funny Vince Vaughn movie with Reese Witherspoon.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And they like fake like they're gonna go on vacation, and they tell their whole family like we're going to do this charity thing,
Right.
And like Guadalajara or some like crazy like island place, right?
Yeah.
And they get caught on the news because like the airport's down, and they're the couple that gets interviewed, and they're caught off guard because they're at the counter finding out that they can't fly.
Yeah.
And then a newscast comes up, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" And they're just like, and then they have to call their families because their family just saw them on TV, and they have to go see all their families, and all their families are so fucking wild because both parents are both divorced, so there's 4 different houses, and it's like,
wow.
His mom is like horny for him.
Oh my God.
Her mom is horny for him, and then it's like his brothers are like UFC fighters, and it's like fucking wild.
There's a lot going on here.
It's so funny though. It's like I think it's got to be my favorite comedian movie of all time.
Yeah,
and like that's saying a lot, but it's just like there's so many gold. And just Vince Vaughn.
Right,
fucking Vince Vaughn is so good.
All right, let's have that conversation. Best 90s comedy actor.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Well, actor is definitely Jim Carrey.
Jim
Carrey all the
what do
way.
you mean? Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah,
all right,
like-
we're all on the same page here.
It's hard there,
We're all on
man.
the same page here. Yeah.
Was it you that hadn't seen that until like 3 years ago?
I had like lightly seen scenes as a kid, but I was like,
Had like started it and watched it through all the way as an adult.
Yeah.
This is what I'll say. I'll say Jim Carrey 1A and then like maybe 1C. I know I did A, but like 1C would be like Adam Sandler.
yeah,
Adam Sandler
100%.
had like some fucking crazy bangers.
There's just too many from that era though, man. Because like Robin Williams is from that era. And oh my God, like I don't think we're making kings of comedy like that.
No, we're not.
Even the ones right now that people think of, like Dave Chappelle, like he's been around since
Hey,
then.
yo, you know what else?
Yeah.
You know what else? I would put like 1B, Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
I love Ben Stiller.
Heavyweights. Did you ever see that movie?
I've not seen Heavyweights.
Holy shit, it's him as a director of a fat camp for kids.
Oh, okay.
Dude,
That
is
sounds
fucking
familiar.
mean.
That sounds familiar.
He's like,
Hey,
you know
watch that.
Globo Gym, like dodgeball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Character he played for
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
It's like that on steroids.
Oh, okay.
Fucking mean, and he calls those
I love
fat.
dodgeball too.
That's
Dodgeball's
crazy.
sick.
Yeah,
Dude,
dodgeball's great.
That's like the original. Like they had to take that character as inspiration for the dodgeball character because it's like
Right.
he's shredded in that movie and he's talking shit to kids about like them being fat and like finding their candy and just like trying to beat them the fuck up. And he does put his hands on the kids in the movie. So it's like it originally was filmed because they couldn't find a house or a studio to like actually pay for it.
Yeah.
So they did it themselves and then Disney bought it. Like watching the movie, you'd be like, "There's no way this is a Disney movie," and it wasn't. That's why it gets away with some of the things it does because Disney bought it after the fact. fucked.
Yeah, Disney does that with a lot of
yeah.
stuff. Sometimes they'll put stuff out, but they're like, this doesn't really fit the Mouse's brand. So like a lot of people don't know that when The Nightmare Before Christmas came out, they were like, dude, this is too scary for kids. We should not have hired Tim Burton to do this. And they released it under Touchstone Pictures. Touchstone is owned by Disney, and there's a ton of horror movies and just like all kind of movies that are not Disney appropriated that were released by Touchstone, and it was just Disney being like, well, we just don't want people to think we put it out. Like, and then later, like probably early 2000s, whenever that started becoming like a popular thing, and it's like they thought it was a total flop, but it starts getting sold in Hot Topic, and it becomes huge.
Yeah,
like,
once it becomes
Disney did that. That's a Disney thing.
Once
now.
it becomes a marketable franchise with a whole brand and merchandise to sell, they're going to put that in their pockets.
That movie story cracks me up because like mine, I have a couple nephews. One, he's like 2. And that's all he wants to watch is The Nightmare Before Christmas. And you talk to him, he's just like, Jack, Sally. Like, he loves that movie. And I'm like,
so
these
good.
idiots in the 90s thought that was too scary for kids.
It's so good, and like the cliffhanger it leaves you on that makes you want there to be a sequel, but then you don't want it to ruin the original.
Right.
Right.
I think like, Tim knows that. That's why he never really did one.
Yeah, but the ambiguous ending of like the other holiday sitting in front of him, and you're like, where would you even go?
Dude, so a lot of people don't know this. Like, I love that movie, and I was obsessed with it when I was a kid. But like I think this was like the mid to late 2000s, they did a couple video games for it. They did a Game Boy Advance game, and they did a PlayStation 2 game. The Game Boy Advance game is a prequel introducing Oogie Boogie and why he lives on the outskirts of town, and why like he's obviously like they insinuate in the movie like no one likes this guy. He doesn't live here. Like, he's bad. Yeah. Like, keep him out of this. That they explain that in the Game Boy Advance game, and then the PlayStation 2 game is a sequel where like he gets sewn back together again, and he tries to take over all the holidays. Like, it's really cool. They could have made movies of them, but like I don't feel the need. Like, I think that as video games, and they've written books and stuff that expand it too, but like the canon in movies being just that movie, I think is perfect.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
He should just do another stop motion movie with those vibes, like Corpse Bride or something, if people want that.
I like how he's all over the place with everything he does. Like, you can tell when his finger's on it, but it's like he's done so many different things. Yeah. It's not just like animation or like live action or whatever. It's like everything, but it's all like so like it's all just kind of a little dark. It's like if the lights were tinted a little bit.
It's
like
charming.
That,
yeah, it's creepy but charming. It's never hardly scary, with the exception of like Sweeney Todd, which is not an original thing he made. Right. He just made a movie about an incredible play. But yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite directors. So like we're talking about top movies. Like I can't really list any Tim Burton movies because almost all of his movies will be in my top list. It'll just be full of Tim movies, but and half of that is not just because he's a great director with a crazy imaginative brain, but also Danny Elfman's like my favorite composer, and he does the music for all of Tim's movies. Yeah, I think there's one, maybe two that he didn't do. One was Sweeney Todd, but it's like you don't need to do it because that's a musical that's already been written. Yeah. So, but yeah, he's incredible. The songwriter,
crazy stuff. Next time y'all are in, we got to talk more movies.
Yes. Yeah, I'm about it, dude.
Dope, dude. But before we get out of here, if you guys want to get like an Afterdusk tattoo or something, Johnny Mumbles at Sacred Grounds Tattoo Studio, that's going to be your guy. Also, while I'm doing this ad read, y'all can take the markers and write on the wall if you want.
Let's go.
Like, right on the wall. Mom used to punish me
sign the
for
Wall
that.
of Fame.
Hell yeah.
Let's do it. If you get those, you got to shake them. They got like a bead in it or whatever. I think they're a knockoff. I don't think they're actually those. Yeah. But Johnny Mumbles, Sacred Grounds Tattoo Studio, if you're trying to get any work done, trying to get some nostalgic or whatever, like cyclical, something that's coming back around to be cool, dude, get your favorite band's logo tattooed on you. Johnny Mumbles is going to be the guy. Go on Instagram, check them out at Sacred Grounds Tattoo Studio. Shout out. Yeah, dude, amazing work. I'm about to get my back finished tomorrow, or like a majority of it finished. We're not completely done, but we're getting closer and closer. I can't thank you enough, Johnny, for all the work you're doing on my back and whatnot. But check them out on Instagram at Johnny Mumbles and at Sacred Grounds Tattoo Studio. I can't thank you guys enough for coming on. But
Thanks for having us, man.
While they're signing the wall, we're going to get the fuck up out of here. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Peace.
Yee.